I have to apologize. I did come from Wisconsin this morning, and I didn't plan my trip so well. I thought I packed a dress shirt, and I didn't, so I'm wearing a polo, so don't take offense. No offense was intended. Governor, it's great to be here with you. I got to tell you, I had like multiple texts from Senator Blackburn and Senator Hagerty about how important this was and how historic it was, and you've got to come, and so here I am, and they're not here. I know they have an important job. They're doing good work trying to get the confirmations through in the Senate, so I guess I would prefer having them in Washington rather than here. But I would just tell you that for your senators, there have been no two senators from any state that have been more supportive and more kind to me as I've gone through the process of confirmation, and then once I become the Secretary of Transportation. So I do have a very fond place in my heart for your leadership. And Governor, it's interesting. There's congestion that you have in Tennessee. There's a lot of people that have moved to Nashville. By the way, I know a lot of people who moved to Nashville myself. It seems like it's Florida, Texas, or Tennessee, and if it's Tennessee, it's usually Nashville. And it's a product of your own success, right? People love freedom. People want to come where you have great state tax rates or zero tax rates. And so because you have done such a great job, the legislature has done such a great job, people have moved here in droves, which is a beautiful thing. But it brings us to today, which is so important to then deal with the infrastructure needs that we have in a way that is going to be cost effective or no cost, public-private partnerships that can move people fast and safe, which is the project we're talking about today. And by the way, not just moving people safely and quickly, 8 to 10 minutes between the airport and downtown Nashville, but also I think Steve might say this is going to be a project that's done in 2 years. Like, that's unheard of in big infrastructure projects. And so I'm honored and privileged to be here with all of you and celebrate this great announcement. And I would just tell you from President Trump's perspective and from my perspective, we are looking for innovators. We spend a lot of money on infrastructure, and oftentimes we look around and say, where is it? Where are all the roads and the bridges and the trains and the high-speed rail that you promised me? I think we have to do a better job on the deliverables, and I think this is a great way to cut through the red tape, to partner with private sector individuals and companies and move projects really fast. And sometimes I'm not going to. I promised myself I wasn't going to talk very long, but this excites me. Sometimes people think of the DOT as hard hats and vests that you see on the road with slow and stop signs, right? And we're working machinery, and that's true. That is what we do. But we also we're dealing with drones, and we're dealing with eVTOLs, and we're dealing with autonomous vehicles. But what we do truly impacts people's lives, because how long you sit in traffic determines how early you have to work, which means you might not see your kids for breakfast, or how long it takes you to get home, which means you may not be at home to see your spouse or your kids for dinner. And so that we do our jobs really well helps you live your life better. And I think this project will go to great lengths to take more cars off the road, move people faster, create more business activity in your state and in your city, but also reduce the congestion of your great state. And so from my perspective, I couldn't be more. By the way, we got to dot I's and cross T's at federal DOT. We got to do that part of it. But this excites us because this is innovation. This is creativity. This is doing things different. And my only hope is that other cities and other states around the country look at Governor Lee and say, what did he do here? How did he do this? And can we replicate that and get similar results that Tennessee got, that Nashville got in my community? We can learn from the great successes of some of our leadership in the states across this country. And I hope that will be the lesson when this project is completed and you see the results, that other governors will look at this example and this governor and say, we want to do that too. So I'm honored to be here on behalf of US DOT, on behalf of President Trump, and I'm excited for your state, and I'm thrilled about this project. Thanks for having me.